When you act, you've got to be like a poet or a musician. It's not about the evidence before the court. It's not about the forensic subject, it's poetry. It's a completely different place. Right, Tiffany? Good afternoon, lecturers, students and supervisors. My name is Julian and I'm with my friend Ellie Eaton. We're here today introducing you to the field of forensic science. First, to understand forensic science, we must understand what science is as a whole. The dictionary definition of science is an intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behaviour of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. However, I believe everything about science is subjective and can vary from this overall idea depending on the person you ask. Ellie and I have discussed this idea in great depth and have established what science means to us. We believe science to be the systematic study of nature and behaviour of the material and physical universe, based on observation, experiment and measurement, and formulation of law to describe these facts in general terms. This may lead some of you questioning yourself about what is forensic science, how does it fit into what that definition is, and what does the field specialise? To get the most comprehensive answer, we must look at what each word means individually. Forensic means scientific tests or techniques used in connection with the detection of crime, and as aforementioned before, science is the intellectual practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behaviour of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. This has led me to the definition as the application of scientific methods and techniques to matters under investigation by the court of law. This field caught the attention of Ellie and I when we were sitting here in week 3. As both of us had a parent that are lawyers, I've always been intrigued by any legal firm and rules of court. However, I never truly understood how forensic science had such an important influence over the legal system. Ellie questioned me whether or not my knowledge in this field was limited, therefore I never truly understood how the methods were used to create legitimate results to identify suspects. The impact of science and technology is socially evident, but also society influences science. There are also social influences on the direction and emphasis of science and technology development through pressure groups on specific issues and through generally accepted social views, values and priorities. Forensic science is one of those topics that doesn't draw much attention in the world of the media. Sometimes there are small mentions of autopsy results and fingerprint discoveries, but their stories are short-lived in the media and overshadowed by the topics like cancer research, global warming and the likes. The press jump on whatever can sell them papers, and unfortunately for the field of forensic science, there are very rarely any new innovations and technologies that draw the attention of the media. Politics play a huge role in science and society. In Australia, a great example of this was Julian push for the carbon tax and global warming, which dominated the media for a long time and followed into Tony Abbott's reign. Similarly, drawing the attention of the media currently is Donald Trump's double-digit cuts to Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, which is the most recent example of political influence in science. Science and the law are not natural partners. Science seeks to advance our understanding of the natural world. Law is tasked with ensuring public safety and making sure justice is properly served. Over time, science became another tool available to the legal system to pursue their goals. During recent years, the problem with some aspects of forensic science have come to light. Examples include false convictions based on faulty fire scene and burn analysis on a bite mark, incorrect fingerprint identification, and instances of misconduct in forensic labs. Recognising these shortcomings has led to various efforts to propel forensic science forward, helping us recognise which parts are scientifically valid and which parts aren't, and where most research must be done. As seen on the presentation slide, India are the frontrunners in forensic science research and development, which double the percentage of second-place America. The leading scientist from America goes to the name of Henry Lee, a Taiwanese-born American forensic scientist. He is one of the world's foremost forensic scientists and founder of Henry C. Lee Institute of Forensic Science. Lee has lectured widely and written hundreds of articles published in professional journals and authored and co-authored more than 40 books on forensic science, crime scene investigation, and crime scene reconstruction. He has acted as an advisor and consultant to many law enforcement agencies. He hosted a show on True TV Network, formerly Court TV, titled Trace Evidence, The Case Files of Dr. Henry Lee, which highlighted his work on well-known cases. Lee also appeared widely on television. Many forensic scientists have done great work, but to bring this knowledge to the media and society has been one of his greatest achievements. By making interesting TV shows about his work and opening up on forensic science institutes, he inspires young audiences while informing the older audiences the importance of forensic science and what it brings to the modern society. Forensic science has a global importance. Unfortunately, crime is one of those negative things that has potential to impact every single person. New York Times wrote an article saying 83% of 12-year-old children in the United States will be victims or intended victims of violence at least once in their lifetime. The Justice Department reported today 52% will be victims of such crimes more than once. This important fact shows that crime is a very important, common thing in the global issue. Furthermore, this information has been influenced the research and development in forensic science field has evidenced by statistics that they're going to need major need for this field in society. Who can benefit from forensic science information? If the statistics released by the New York Times accurately depicts the future generation, 83% in the United States alone would have witnessed violence alone. This does not include the important crimes of theft, rape, and murder. So, what technologies are used by scientists? Here are some of the brief description of what they do. The PhenomSem, a pretty cool piece of equipment. The PhenomSem for gunshot residue allows crime labs to search for gunshot residue particles. The technology then characterizes the residue using energy disbursement spectroscopic, quickly distinguishing the gunshot particles from dust, dirt, and other fibers. It's all automated, and the software and hardware are fully integrated, so it's very user-friendly. DNA is used to identify both criminals and victims by using trace evidence such as hair or skin. DNA sequences come a variety of strengths, and degradation of a sample will largely determine how powerful the DNA sequencer must be. The sequencer identifies unique patterns of DNA that can possibly help identify a person. Fingerprint identification comes in a variety of technologies, allowing forensic scientists to compare fingerprints found to an extensive digital database. Newer technologies such as magnetic fingerprinting dust means investigators are able to get perfect impression without compromising the fingerprint. Please welcome Ellie to the stand.
A study which is not recent but is most definitely relative is an article that originally appeared in the FBI Law Enforcement Bulletin of December 1992. The article puts focus on forensic science and how it solved crime within society. Mainly focused on how it was solved with forensic fingerprinting, the article states that the only relevant lead was a few bloodstains and a faint blood fingerprint on the top of a pillowcase adjacent to the victim's body. A brief overview of the case study. In March 1990, an unknown assailant sexually molested and fatally stabbed a young woman. At the crime scene, an investigator discovered In March 1990, an unknown assailant sexually molested and fatally stabbed a young woman. At the crime scene, an investigator discovered a few leads. The only evidence was a pillowcase found adjacent to the victim's body. It exhibited several bloodstains. One stain showed a faint fingerprint ridge detail barely visible to the trained eye. The purpose of this article is to provide evidence and facts for the near future, to assist in widening the views of forensic fingerprinting to help solve more criminal cases like this one. Like any case, a certain method was used. By analysing the ridges of the bloodstained fingerprint, technicians photographed and studied the stains, slowly extracting information. They discovered two things. First, they confirmed the several bloodstains were consistent with blood transfer from the knife, although no knife was found at the crime scene. Second, and more importantly, analysts determined that the fingerprint presented enough ridges and detail to conduct a more extensive investigation. Analysts then sent the evidence to another forensic study centre, where scientists treated the fingerprint with DFO, a relatively new chemical that becomes fluorescent with light exposure. Implication. Once processed, the DFO provided an improved ridge detail photo. However, the ridge detail still remained blurred, displaying poor journal continuity and visual fabric weave in the background. All traditional photographic techniques failed to erase the distortion. Analysts subsequently concluded that the latent was unidentifiable. In conclusion, Machin's men working in the defendant's apartment discovered a military survival knife hidden in the pipe chase. Seriological examination revealed traces of human blood, but no typing was possible. However, the shape and size of the sawtooth blade matched several of the blood stains on the pillowcase. Police personnel provided a large, transparent overlay for the courtroom display to illustrate how the knife and the stain conformed into a single image. Faced with overwhelming physical evidence, such as the image and hand's fingerprint match, the DNA test results, the match between the body fluid found in the victim's body and that of the suspect, and the knife found in the suspect's apartment. Defense attorneys entered 4 guilty pleas, one of which was capital murder. This study discovered this new scientific method that drew attention from the media, increasing society's knowledge in forensic science, therefore widening the knowledge of crime and how it can be solved for future crimes similar to this one. By using this method, it gives a high chance of finding the person who committed the crime. In effect, only 1 in 30 million people in the population will have this particular DNA code. This information has helped other groups such as forensic investigators and scientists to communicate helpful information for future studies and research. Scientists can use the information communicated across from the forensic investigators by keeping analyst records and studying them to create bigger knowledge. For example, the study states that the fingerprint imprint was on a soft material, a pillowcase to be exact, which created a blurry effect when trying to read the fingerprint. Though all traditional photographic techniques as this did not work, scientists are able to work on finding out new ways to read fingerprints on soft materials. I hope from today's speech you have a better understanding of forensic science and how it uses modern... I hope from today's speech you have a better understanding of forensic science and its use in our modern society. Forensic science is one of the most... No, it's not. Oh my gosh. I hope from today's speech you have a better understanding of forensic science and its use in our modern society. Forensic science is one of the sciences that is used... I hope from today's speech you have a better understanding of forensic science and its use in our modern society. Forensic science is one of the sciences that is using today's modern technology to constantly improve on older methods to make them more efficient. With everyone's awareness in this room, I hope you too will share the story of forensic science, as it greatly help improve our field and equipment through government funding. Everyone can make a difference, and with this difference comes future possibilities. Who knows how far technology advances? May I thank the research of Henry Lee for the research used in the speech, as well as other authors such as Sarah Cassell and Michael Badham. I hope you have a great day and thanks for listening.